I just drove around tonight before I came here. I think it's starting to look pretty nice, and I hope you're happy with the way it's coming out. Basically, what they're looking to do is essentially to add several outlots over here, J1 and J2, which would be, one is 3,000 square feet and the other one is 3,200 square foot bank. As you know, every bank needs a drive-through these days. Building J would be a hotel, and you saw from what we gave you, it's going to be a Marriott courtyard by Marriott, or Marriott courtyard, whatever it is, which is a pretty, which is a very nice flag to have, and it's a good addition, I think, to the community. Building M would be the 75 unit affordable housing units. The garage is been reconfigured, and Building B and Building A is also reconfigured, and the density without this massive structure in the middle has been changed a bit, and we're looking for your approval for approximately another 100 units, market rate units. The hotel in place of what had been, and the two outlets essentially in place of what had been proposed south of Main. And we think that it works. This all comes together, gives a little bit of the critical mass necessary for the retail to utilize it, and adds to the overall appearance of having the Main Street that I think that we all wanted when we started this, when I was young at least, about 7 years ago. So really all we're looking to do tonight is present the basic outline of it. If it's something that you feel meets, complies with what you have, your vision for your community, we'd like to move forward working with your professionals, with Catherine and Dan, and we'll come back to you as soon as we can with a more detailed proposal and an amendment to the redevelopment plan for your consideration. And obviously we want to get their feedback, Dan and Catherine, so they just got it not too long ago, so we don't really expect to get any kind of real feedback from them tonight. They need an opportunity to take a look at it, to study it as well. And we'd like to come back, meet with them in the next several weeks, and come back to you with a more detailed proposal that they're comfortable with as well.
The increase in units, you said 100?
Approximately 100. I can go dig out my letter.
Do you have a breakdown of?
Yeah. Yeah, bear with me a second, and I'll get my letter. Essentially, we'd be, Building B would be 100 units, and Building A would now be 99 units, and 9 two-story townhouses. Total number of units that would, the total density, including the affordable housing, would be 595. So that would be 520 market rate and 75 affordable housing.
With the increase in units, would your affordable housing requirement go up?
I don't believe that it would, because I don't think anybody really knows what the affordable housing requirements for anybody are today. And I believe that we have more affordable housing on this site than anywhere else.
Did you do the affordable housing allotment in the original plan according to what the original allotment was?
No. The original, it was really, I'm going to editorialize a little bit. Originally, it came to 75 units because I think as part of this overall redevelopment plan, which which included the residential density, the retail density, that this was a number that the borough felt they would like because it has helped you on a borough-wide basis. That's where it came from. It was not based upon the density in the project itself.
Was this, Jim, Mr. Mayor, was this plan approved by any DCA or COA at any point?
Doesn't have to be.
Didn't have to be.
No.
Do
But
you
your
feel-
COA
do you-
plan,
do you feel-
your affordable housing plan is ultimately, well, it used to be approved by COA. You know, nobody,
My
honestly,
question was this?
there's 75 units on site. I mean, Catherine can tell you, but I'm sure it was.
It is included as part of our plan.
Yeah.
But right now, our plan is in limbo.
I
It
understand.
was submitted back in 2008.
By the way, don't feel bad about being in limbo, because the whole world,
No, I
the
know,
whole
I
world is
understand
in
that.
limbo.
My only concern would be is that later on, if COA tries to attach some kind of obligation to the extra 100 units.
Absolutely, that would be a part.
So there may be an obligation of some sort. But again, as Paul stated, we don't know what that is right now, so it's a little bit hard to deal with. I do have another question for you.
Can I,
Oh,
before
yeah.
you do that, can I just
Yes.
throw one comment? I believe, Councilman, that there's a way that we can address that in this redevelopment plan, and I'm gonna discuss it with my clients, and I believe we can address it, and it will be in a manner that's similar to the way in which we've addressed it in other communities. Because it is in limbo, none of us have a crystal ball that know when this whole issue is going to be decided. You hear all kinds of stories about the administration coming out with a new policy. I don't know when it's going to happen or if it's going to happen. Whether the Supreme Court's ultimately going to make a decision, none of us know that. So, but there is a way to address it, and we will address it.
I would just ask that you, the expression, the teacher leaves the classroom doesn't mean everybody gets to have a free pass. So I would just be reasonable to do something.
We
so that
want to
when
be,
the time comes.
we want to be reasonable. I think the fact that we've agreed to, we have 75 units on site, which I don't think there's any other development in Edgewater that has that. I think my clients have been reasonable, and they will continue to be. That I can assure you.
Well, how many stories is building M?
M,
Right.
5.
Well, what's the average square foot of each unit?
That I don't know. I don't think they've gotten into that kind of detail, but they're not, and the unit, which, you mean, all of them, the residential?
Yeah, if you have an idea of it.
I'm going to assume they're going to be pretty similar to what they are right now on the site.
The 100 additional will be the same?
Yeah.
But we're looking for a reduction overall, aren't we, of the square feet
No.
within each unit?
Yeah, it's the size of the whole marketplace has changed.
Right.
So everybody's looking at smaller units today. I don't think there's an intent to increase the size of Building B, just like we changed the configuration in F and D, but it was really a function of the unit sizes.
Catherine, do we know what, impact it will have on the school in terms of reducing it,
Well, that's really based on the bedrooms.
right?
So I am only making an assumption, but I have a feeling that there'll probably be 1 or 2 bedroom units, typically much smaller. Am I probably
I
right in
didn't
saying
hear
that? They were asking about the impact
Yeah,
on
the schools.
So we're going with smaller units, but do you
families.
know, well, so my question is, do you know if there are 1 and 2 bedroom units that are being proposed and not
No.
3s?
I don't know for a fact, but I would say that there'll be no 3s.
Because actually that
I
would.
think that's what all these other buildings are all 1s and 2s, aren't they?
Yes, as far as.
Yeah, there are
yes.
no, to my knowledge.
The only difference would be the COA units, there is a distribution requirement,
Right.
so there needs to be 1, 2s, and 3s. But that doesn't mean any market rate units that go on the site don't have to be larger than whatever the market bears or what they want to build. So with that said, I think as part of this, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, there might be some type of, socioeconomic study revision. Because I know that one was submitted in the past.
No problem.
Because I think that obviously would be a concern, so once this gets, I guess, a little bit more developed on their side, we can try to ascertain what those types of impacts are.
No problem.
I have another question for you too, actually. You know, I didn't go through and look at all the calculations, but I know in the past we talked about the limit on the retail square footage. And how does this compare to what was there before?
In terms of the overall square footage?
Well, right,
of the
because
project?
you're
Well, it's-
talking about changes proposed, does that mean that, because I'm kind of assuming the hotel sort of takes up a lot of that retail square footage on the site, and sort of replacing some of that?
It replaces it, but it's a 18,000 square foot building that's 5 stories, so. Yeah, but the footprint, the retail before was 50,000, 52,000.
Oh, I know what the Stop and Shop, I just meant
Yes.
general overall, the whole site.
Well, originally, if you remember, there was a hotel over here. There was originally some discussion when C2 and L were 2 different buildings. I believe my memory serves me correctly, going back 7 years or 8 years, there was originally a hotel in L. There was also a gym, a fitness center in L. C2 was originally the same as F, but that all changed, as you know, through the market. It was market driven.
Well,
And by the way, there's other benefits to a hotel.
oh, I didn't say there weren't.
No, I'm just saying, there are other benefits like a hotel. Do you have a hotel tax in town?
Yes, basically.
So you know already some of the benefits.
No, well, I mean, I think it's just the whole idea of, updating the socioeconomic.
That's not a problem.
Study, so we get a better idea of really truly what the impacts would be, with regard to, obviously, the schools, the demographics, and also the economics of the proposed project. With that said, I know you said we have a lot of time to look at it. I did kind of look at it, sort of, I want to say, at a fairly decent level. And as opposed to the Stop and Shop, this, while it's different than the original plan, definitely meets the goals of what the redevelopment plan originally was supposed to do. This is still a more of a walkable type, community rather than what the Stop and Shop really was, which I think sort of took away from the pedestrian-friendly streets and the streetscapes and the like. So, so overall, like without going into the socioeconomics of it, the actual plan itself, I already see as better than some of the prior proposals that I thought has had in the last couple of years.
Definitely made much better use of the land, especially on the southern portion of it. With building A1, 2, and A3, I think you're definitely making much better use of the land.
Thank you.
Paul, question for you with regard to the
Sure.
hotel. You're telling us it's a courtyard Marriott. I think the plans I said said Marriott Fairfield, and there is a big difference in what type of.
I thought I saw
Social.
it was that's the parking utilization study that I received. I believe was sent to you, says Marriott Courtyard.
I know, but I saw something else that said Fairfield. What do we see?
I was told it was Marriott Courtyard, and that was my.
There was a drawing I saw. It said
But I
Fairfield.
agree,
We just check it.
I know it's a different plan.
Yeah, we much prefer the courtyard, so.
Yeah. But I'll double check that, no problem.
Do you have any other questions? Dan Kaufman.
Yes.
Why are you hiding?
I'm not hiding.
Paul, you're aware of the $500,000 proportional share of the pump station upgrade?
As soon as we get the numbers, I know my client's required to pay.
Okay.
We needed to get my recollection is that Borough was supposed to give us the calculations.
Well, yeah, it needs to be updated, so.
And even if I forgot, your borough attorney reminded me last week.
By the way, I was in the units, I took a look at them, Greg and I took a tour.
Yeah.
They look really good, by the way, they're doing a
Thank you.
nice job,
Thank you, Louis. Thank you.
really nice job.
Paul, not to change the subject as to what you came in for tonight, but as far as the development itself, where do you, I don't know if you can answer this, but as far as signage, when people pull into the lot, so we're gonna have any improved signs that say the first intersection here to clarify what we're going on?
I'm not I just don't have any knowledge of what the plans are, but I do want to take back your concern to Joe and Lynn.
Seems like we have a lot of people, I know it's the new development, but I think we're creating a bottleneck right at the beginning of the entrance, but I'm sure that's, once they're familiar with the property, it'll probably ease up.
I will make sure that they know about your concern.
Does say Marriott Courtyard.
Okay, thank you.
So do we have any other questions?
Must have dropped you.
Dan, you fine?
I'm fine with this.
Well, I want to thank you all very much, and want to get on this thing as quickly as we can. We appreciate your assistance.
All right, thank you. Thank you for coming in.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Do we have anything else?
Just mine.
Oh. Okay, Borough Clerk?
Just the voter registration deadline's May 14th for the June 4th primary. My office will be open until 9 p.m. to register voters. That's it, Mayor.
Do you have anything?
Nothing to report, man.
I'd ask for a motion to
So
adjourn.
moved.
Second?